You are listening to Framing the Future podcast, presented by the Architectural Authority magazine.
You're a woman, you just recently graduated, so it's a challenge to be in the construction field.
It has been difficult, but I know how it works. Like sometimes people sees me and they say, "Why did I have to do what this girl is telling me to do?" you know,
Yeah.
why did I have to do what she's telling me to do? And I think the most important thing is to earn the respect of people.
Yeah.
You need to earn the respect, and you earn respect by working hard, by being committed to the project, and then your actions and your results will speak for themselves, and people
Yeah.
start to respect you. It's basically like you don't demand respect, you earn that
You
respect.
earn that respect.
This video is brought to you by the Stones and More Group, a leading wholesale distributor with over 2 decades providing top-quality porcelain, ceramic, slabs, mosaics, panels, and building materials, crafted to transform any space.
Hello and welcome back to Framing the Future, the podcast powered by the Architectural Authority magazine. Today, I'm joined by someone very special, Karla Armas. We met back in 2019 at Miami Dade College and went through the highs and lows of architecture school together at FIU. Karla's journey stands out because she didn't follow the conventional path after graduation. Instead of joining an architectural firm, she stepped into the real estate development and construction world, where she found a passion she never expected. This episode is all about exploring how a background in architecture can lead to so much more, and why success doesn't always mean following the traditional road. Let's dive in. Welcome, Karla, to
Thank
Framing
you,
the
Hannah.
Future. I'm very excited to have you here. And for the people that doesn't know you, can you talk about a little more about your background, how you got into architecture, and what made you follow and stay in the construction and path?
First, I always was driven to art and design. I went to an art school back in Cuba. And when I moved here, I finished my last year of high school. And then when I was making the decision of what career I wanted to pursue, I started investigating a little bit more about architecture. And I told to myself, like, I like everything that involves art, that is within architecture. I like design, I like drawing, I like math. So let's do this for now, because I wasn't sure yet, but everything went well.
Yes, and when we met in Miami Dade College, and we went to FIU, and we spent all these hours working on models, going through finals, and when you're at school, you vision, you expect, going to an architectural firm, getting more hands into what is design, because it's usually what you expect doing, what we like to do, but it was not the case for you. So when you graduated architecture, you were expecting to go into an architectural firm, but that wasn't the case. So how was that process when you graduated to where you are now?
Well, when I was in school, and I'm sure that was the way I used to think, and I'm sure that's the way many people think when they're in school. I thought that construction administration was boring, and I always thought that I don't want to do that when I graduate.
Yeah.
I want to be the successful designer when I graduate, because design was my favorite class at school, as many of us. So when I graduated school, I went to a development firm that wanted to create their own architectural office, but
Yeah.
for some reasons that never happened. And instead of leaving or going somewhere else, I started getting involved more in the development area. And I discovered that I did like that area. And I started learning little by little, and I discovered that passion.
Yes, and once when you were in the development uh, a job, that in the first job that you got, it was development, it was more related with real estate, and then you're now in construction. So what's the difference between real estate development and construction? Because you are now a project manager. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So was for the people that doesn't know and between development and construction, what is the main difference?
Development is like the overall process like the big picture process. You start at the beginning, selecting the land that you're going to buy, then creating a concept to get the best out of that land. How many units are you going to create? Are you going to build a restaurant? Are you going to be you're going to build residential units? How many floors the zoning allows you? Then getting the finance, hiring everyone that is going to work in the project, the architects, the engineers, the designers, and supervising that work, working on the permits, getting your building permit so that you can start building, and also selecting the contractor that is going to be working on your project. And it basically is like overseeing all the different pieces until you get to get your CO.
Nice. So development. So how was like a day in a development sector when you started? You met with a client. You had to go to meetings.
Well, when you are in the development area, basically you're representing the
The
client.
client.
So
Okay.
you work for the client.
Yeah.
And then you hire other people and you meet with other people to select the best team, the best designer, the best architect. You receive bids and you level all those bids. Okay, this architect is including me the interior design. This architect is including me more hours during construction administration. So basically, you level everything and you select the best option for the team. While construction is a little bit more hands on because you actually build the project. You're hands on building the project. Basically, the main difference is that development plans the project and shapes the vision, but
Mm.
construction builds the
Builds the
vision and
vision.
make it a physical reality.
So you're in construction, you're less involved in who you have to hire because all or is the because usually in the architect sometimes they hire the MEP, the structural engineer or like the mid work. So in construction, do you still have to hire all these subcontractor or they already
you
are a
you do
part of
hire
the
subcontractors. Let's say it works like in a tree.
yeah.
Development is here, and then development will hire the architectural part and the construction part. The architect will hire the MEPs, the structural engineer, everyone that is designing the project. But the construction,
Yeah.
the DC will hire all the
All the
subcontractors, the
subcontractors.
people like
Okay.
the electricians, the plumber,
Yeah.
the mechanical contractor, everyone that will actually build it.
So in all these experience that you have had in the development and construction world, what are advices that you will give those that want to take the same path or are considering going into the same field?
First, the first thing that I would advise anyone is make the best of the circumstances. Like, don't feel bad because you didn't got a job in the best architecture firm in town, and you didn't got that job of your dreams, because maybe that job of your dreams was not meant for you, and whatever is meant for you will be better. Like, make the best of what life gives you. If life is giving you construction, interior design, or any other thing that relates to what you like, and you can make the best of that, take it and make the best of it.
And I remember when we were talking before in our first meeting, you mentioned the importance of asking questions, of
Mhm.
having good mentors. So how that shaped your first months or your first year in the development?
Okay, when you are in architecture school prepares you a lot, but not for the real life, not for the real
Yes. Yeah.
architectural or construction day to day. And when I first started, I did ask a ton of questions, and I still do. I still do. And I think that's really important that you keep asking questions always, because it doesn't matter if you're a director, if you're a CEO, you don't have all the answers. So it's better to ask questions to everyone. And from all the answers you put together what you feel comfortable is the truth.
Yes.
And what do you think? works and what you think is gonna help you move forward.
Yeah, because sometimes, even at school, we are always have, like, I don't want to look bad asking these questions, but in the real world, it's a totally different game. Here you
Mhm.
are, money is important, time. So making mistakes is, you want to make less mistakes because
Mhm.
that costs the client and your reputation
Yeah.
also.
If you are not sure
Yeah.
about something, it's better to ask first
Yes.
instead of making a decision that then it will have consequences.
And about the mentors, how was your experience having people to your side helping you understand better the process? And for those who probably don't have a good mentor in their office, in their job sites or around, what would be a good step to take, or who to reach in that case?
I think you have to find the mentors. They don't just come
Yeah.
and are like available for you.
Hmm.
It can be a professor in school that when you have a question, you call him back. Hi, professor, I'm now working, but I have this question, and you can always call that person. It can be people at work, some of your teammates, your supervisors, family members that can help you. And I was very lucky, and I have always been very lucky that I have found good mentors in my way, in my family, professors, and even at work. In my first work job, I did have two mentors, and they were really helpful. I did ask a lot of questions, and they spent the time with me, and I'm really grateful for what they did for me.
Yeah. And now in the construction sector, what has been one of the challenges in your in all these? How long have you been in the construction so far in the construction field?
Well, in I graduated 3 years ago with
Yes,
you.
yes.
And I started
Mm.
working in development frame, and then I switched to constructions because I wanted to be more hands-on. So like half and half.
Oh yeah, okay. So, and what has been the most challenging project that you have had so far? All of them are challenge.
All projects are challenging.
Yes.
All projects you cannot trust and say no, this one is gonna be easy, because then you discover something that
Something new. And
yeah.
I think something that I like about you is that you always face the day with a good and positive attitude, because like you say, in construction, every day is a different problem. Every day you'll find something that maybe yesterday you didn't account for. So that positivity is important. So how is a day for you in the
I try
office?
to be as organized as possible, because that will help you to avoid or at least mitigate a little bit of the problems that you will face, because that's the job. Construction, every day you have a request, every day you have a problem, every day you have something that didn't went in the way that it was supposed to go, because we are humans and it's a lot of people working together. It's a lot of coordination. So my way of thinking is be prepared, be organized, think ahead of time, but at the same time, know that you're gonna wake up and there's gonna be 30 problems to solve, and then you get an extra one, but you cannot get overwhelmed. You need to think, okay, I'm gonna solve what I can solve now. What's the priority? What I need to do today so that tomorrow we can move forward. And then focus
Yes.
and think that, okay, there are problems, they are gonna keep coming. You need to solve them little by little, but you need only just keep moving. That's the way I think.
So I have a couple of questions. Bueno, some questions for you. let's dive into those. The first one. So let's say you're hiring your dream assistant. What three personality traits do they absolutely need to have?
I would say I would like a person that is proactive,
Yes.
someone that pays attention to detail,
Yeah.
and someone with emotional intelligence.
Those are really good
Yeah, I wouldn't
three.
ask for experience,
Wow.
because when I started, I didn't have
You didn't have
experience.
any experience,
But
and look where you are
I always tell
now.
people like I'm like this.
Yes.
You should
Yes.
hire me. You should hire me, and you're gonna see what a good decision you made.
Yes, no, that's amazing. And that's something you talk about being proactive. And I was talking to that to also some of my colleagues at work about the difference about being proactive and reactive.
Mhm.
Proactive is someone that is on top of the, of,
And things ahead of
yeah,
time.
things ahead of time. And reactive is more about uh, reacting when the problem comes,
Mhm.
which is is an advantage. Is like you always are ahead of the problems for the next day. So I think that's amazing. So proactive emotional intelligence.
It is really important in the construction field, field, and also in life. I think that's a very important trait that you need to have if you wanna be successful.
So how emotional intelligence have helped you in a project or with people? I think it's mostly when you're dealing with people.
Mhm. Well, as pregnant in construction, when you are organizing so many people, like you need to deal with different type of characters, different type of personality. No everyone is the same way. Some people get offended easily. Some people don't follow instructions. So you need to make everyone understand and follow what the plan so that you can achieve what you need to achieve to for the project. And always think for I always think that you shouldn't get offended. You should always keep it professional and think that things happen, people argue sometimes, but you don't take it personal. It's
Yeah.
Everything is about the project, it's not about yourself.
Yes. 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 I totally agree with that.
Mhm.
What do you think architectural school prepare you for, and what did it not?
Okay. Well, I think architecture school is a really good training. It trains you to think critically, but at the same time, it trains you to work under pressure.
Yes.
But at the same time, it doesn't train you for the real job of architecture or
Architecture.
the real
Yeah.
job of in construction. For example, as an architect and in architectural school, we never had to review submittals
No.
for a project. We never had to review our files for a project.
Yeah.
We never actually went to a site and look at the existing conditions and see how those existing conditions will affect the design of the project.
Yes. And yeah, I think that's one of the most, the people I have interviewed, the critique that they make about school is about that. I think we're very focused on design, which is
Hmm.
something good because it helps you think, critically and think about the person who is going to inhabit it. But I think the experience that we need also the most is,
The
how
technical
the
part,
technical
yeah,
part.
yeah. Architecture schools trains
Yeah.
you your brain like as an
As an
artist more
artist.
than
Yeah.
it trains you as technical
As a technical,
procedures
yeah.
that you need to
So
follow.
I think to be like like a complete designer, I will say you need to have experience in every sector of what architecture mean, like construction, also being involved in the design development of construction documents, and even still at work sometimes we don't get that involved in the construction part, which is the most important. I think you're getting a ton of experience
Yeah.
in that part. This is something very important, huh? Because you're a woman, you just recently graduated, so it's a challenge to be in the construction field.
Yes, it is.
So how can you what has been one of the experience you have had in the construction side dealing with the subcontractors, other people as a woman? How has that confrontation happened? Or
um, it it has been difficult, but I know how it works. Like sometimes people sees me and they say, "Why did I have to do what this girl is telling me to do?" you know,
yeah,
why did I have to do what she's telling me to do? And I think the most important thing is to earn the respect of people.
yeah,
You need to earn the respect, and you earn respect by working hard,
hmm,
by being committed to the project. and then your actions and your results will speak for themselves, and people
Yeah.
start to respect you. It's basically like you don't demand respect, you earn that
You earn
respect.
that respect.
Mhm.
Yes. And one of the things you mentioned also that you're the first one to arrive at work, almost the last one to leave. So that's also part of earning the respect at your job and also at the job sites. So that's important. And how is so when you're in the job site, what is usually a day when you visit a job site? Who do you have to talk to? What things you have to oversee, to coordinate on site? Like an example of that.
Basically, I keep my tracker. The first thing I do is make sure that I hire everyone for the project. That's called a procurement tracker.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know that you have procured everything that you need for the project to be built. You have the people that is gonna do the electricity. You have the people that is gonna install the windows. You have the people that is coming and doing the flooring. So you need to make sure that you have everything. That you have everything bought so that you can start
With
with the
the
coordination.
coordination.
So once you have
Yeah.
that, you need to know that you are buying the right things. That's why you have submittals, and people send the contractor sends the submittal, and you review it. The architect review it, and then it's like an agreement to buy those items so that you get in the field the right items.
Okay.
But basically, it's that coordination, reviewing the drawings, reviewing that whatever is being built in the field is what you have in the plans.
In the
If you
plans.
have a
Yeah.
question or the existing conditions are know what are in the plans, you
Hmm.
need to verify that to the architect,
To the
and
architect. Yeah.
yeah, and let know the owner
Hmm.
as well, because sometimes you find things that can be a delay for the project,
Yeah.
and you need to try to solve it and mitigate it as soon as possible.
Yeah. Also, with that, also one of the skills that you need to is decision making and also um, analyzing risk.
Mhm.
So how has that helped you? Or what are the moments that you have had to really take a risky decision that will save the project? And that probably it was not the time to do it, but you had to do it in order to um, get into the deadline or the
Yeah. First, it was a hard transition for me to realize that I was no longer asking someone what to do. I was the person in charge of telling others what
what
to
to
do.
do. Yeah.
And I think about all the risks that one decision can a decision can impact,
Yeah.
and what would be the different outcomes that you
Mm.
can have. But I always, before I make a decision, I talk to some people. I will ask the field superintendent. I will ask my supervisor if I can. What do you think? This is what happening. I get opinions, and from that opinions and those comments that I'm receiving, I try to put the best decision together.
Yes. That's
Mhm.
it. That's important. Like having that group of people around you where you can count on and not take the decision by your own. It's always
Mhm.
counting on other
All other
people
people's. Mhm.
to solve the problem. Okay. What's one part of your job people have no idea is actually super hard, if there's any?
Yes,
Bec-
there's
because in architecture we usually, like, we are, bueno, depending on the role of architecture, usually sitting down in front of a computer. You have a project manager. You don't really are exposed to those other coordinations that goes behind. But in construction, I guess there is more, like also usually more risk. Architecture as well, but construction might be different and also
well, I
challenging.
think one of the most challenging things in construction is the schedule.
The schedule,
The
okay.
schedule. Like keeping track of the schedule, make sure everything is done by the schedule, and keeping track of it is really hard. For example, let's say that you didn't factor in the time for submittals, delivery, and installation for an storefront,
Yeah.
the glass and the system, and then you didn't tell the team, I need you to review the submittals by this day and this day, and I need it back because fabrication is gonna take this long. And then uh, the days go on. Let's say that the storefront takes 14 weeks to arrive, and then you don't have your storefront on site, and you cannot continue with the facade, and you cannot finish the project. Or for example, let's say that you didn't put in your schedule and you didn't tell the mill worker that you needed the millwork and the fixtures on a certain day on site. So comes your life safety inspection, for example, and you don't have the shelving, you don't have the millwork, and then you don't pass the inspection because usually the fire inspector will
Yes.
ask you to have everything
Yes.
ready for the
Yes, yes,
inspection.
yes.
So that will delay your project.
Oh
So
my
it's
gosh.
basically like keeping track
Keeping
of
track of
everything.
everything.
You need to keep
Yes.
track of everything and make sure you are following all the steps to get to the final.
And usually that schedule happens when in the like once the design is approved in this by the city, once the contractor is engaged. When does that schedule happen?
Usually is when the contractor gets involved in the project. And they are bidding for the project, they will put on a schedule
They will put on a
together,
schedule
and they will tell
together.
the client this project will take 12 weeks to build, or it
Yeah.
will take 16, 24,
Yeah.
6 months, 10 months, or a year, 2 years, depending of the scale of the project.
Have you had any experience with like creating creating a schedule or following the schedule? How usually happens the process of what goes first, what needs to be installed first for the people, mostly architects, who have an idea of how.
Usually you will get help from a field guy, like a superintendent,
Yeah.
and a project manager, an estimator, and a field superintendent will put it together.
Yeah.
So there is a real schedule.
Schedule.
Sometimes it's not actually how things are gonna happen, but you put those people to work together, and you should get something that is really close to what what needs to happen. But yes, you put it together. Let's say first you will have your demolition.
Yes.
Days after demolition, you will need to start framing. You will need to start framing the ceilings, doing your finishes for the drywalls. Before that, you need to put some rough MEPs.
Yeah.
And things like that is basically you always follow like a template in your mind of how things should go.
Do you have any support from other people to help you with
yeah, like always. That's one of the things that I really like about the company that I'm working right now, and what have made me move
forward
fast, yes, in my career, because you have a team and you have people that you can ask questions.
That's great. Do you think this kind of job is for everyone, or does it take a certain kind of energy and mindset?
Well, no, I don't think it's for everyone. I think it requires certain personality.
Yeah.
You need to be a quick problem solver. Like, there are small problems, there are big problems, you need to solve everything as best as you can. When things are out of your hands, you seek for help.
Yes.
Also, you need to be persistent, know that things are not going to happen fast, that you need to put the time. And you need to be that type of person that, let's say you're driving and you see a big stone in your way, you cannot stay there until someone moves the stone for you. You need to look for all the ways to move the stone as fast as fast as you can, so that you can get to the point on time. So
you need proactivity. You need to be proactive. That's one of the skills that you need to have.
Yeah, and I also think that you should be calm.
Yes.
And be able to think clearly when everything is chaos.
Yes.
You need to be able to manage
important.
chaos.
Yes. To manage, how that has helped you?
I don't know, but yeah, keeping calm is important.
It's important. Yes, because in a you're usually dealing with very frustrated people, people who are, want things on time, or maybe they are not right. And you need to, be patient and probably, hey, say on in a good manner, tell them, hey, look, like this is not like this. Have you had any experience, or do have you had any encounter or experience with other people, or stories that being calm in situations of chaos is good, or these type of people that are very reactive and they don't have very emotional, they don't have to they don't know how to regulate their emotions, they explode. So
Well, I have many, but I'm not gonna tell them. I'm not gonna say that. Not gonna
no,
tell them
no, no,
here.
no, 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 of course,
But
yeah,
yeah, I have seen really good people that sometimes know managing that their
their
emotions
emotions well, yeah,
is what affects them in their
yes,
career.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So yeah, being calm in
keep calm.
keep calm, keep calm, and trust the
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 process,
process.
yeah.
And trust also, be sure about yourself too, and about what you're capable of.
hmm
Okay, what do you do not tolerate in your work environment?
Um, I think I will never tolerate disrespect,
Hmm.
not to me or anyone in my team.
Yes.
Um, I'm very calm and I try to always manage people the best way I can, but not no disrespect. I think laziness is something that I don't like either.
It stays in your nerves before that.
Yeah, I like people that work hard.
Yes. Good.
And I work hard too, so that's why I
Yeah.
want to be around people that
That is the
really care
same.
about what they're doing
Yeah.
and are committed to the project. And the other thing is miscommunication. Sometimes that's something
Yes.
that I think affects
A lot of, yeah, a
the
lot
work
of the work
environment.
environment. Yeah. That
Mhm.
that thing about miscommunication is something that I think, for more that you want to improve it or be better at it, there is always something that people didn't understood well, or did take it in the wrong way,
Mhm.
and you didn't mean it, or the other person say in a way, and that can create conflict. So I think always calling, always, if you're writing an email or you're communicating with someone, be clear, have after a meeting. And that's something that I always do, like after a meeting with a client or with my project manager, I always, I'm there
Do the meeting
writing.
minutes. Mhm.
Exactly. And I write everything. I write everything what the client wanted, what they didn't want. And then I write them all and send them to them. Hey, this is everything we went through the
It's
meeting.
important that everyone is on the same page.
Exactly. And
Mhm.
keep track of everything, because then the next month, I didn't say that, or I didn't like that. No, yes, you like it, but maybe you're now changing your mind.
Mhm.
Things like that. So I think that's very important. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Another question. And this is, I think, also very important, because construction for is can be very stressful.
Mhm.
Yes. And we're humans at the end. And
Mhm.
we need to recharge, we need to disconnect, and stress really can take a toll on us. So what are ways where you recharge, where you take your mind out of work, if there is any moment that you do
Yes.
that?
Well, I like to work out with my friends. I like to play paddle, do
Yeah.
Pilates. Always try to do physical activity because we spend a lot of time sitting in the computer.
Yes, yes.
So I always try to do the most I can.
So you would say that you're more of the time sitting on the computer? Yeah. Because I
Yes.
always picture in construction being more like active, going
No,
here, there.
no, you do in certain days, in certain stages of the project, you are more on site. But at the end of the day, you need to manage all the paperwork of the project,
Okay. Yeah.
and you're managing the project. So if you're a field superintendent, you're gonna be more
In
on the
a
project.
field superintendent.
Yes, but if
Okay.
you are a project manager in construction,
Mm.
you will split your time. Let's say 70-30 for almost the entire um the entire length of the project,
Yes.
and then at the end you will be more like, let's say, 50-50.
50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. being active, staying active, going to the gym, important.
Yeah, and
What else?
spend time with my friends, with my
Yes.
family, have fun,
Yes.
travel.
Yeah, that's important. And how has travel shaped your architecture and construction, like a vision, experience? Traveling is important. So is like whenever you travel, what do you look for? What do you notice different things that help you?
Well, when I was at architecture school,
Yeah.
knowing the process of how you design a space, that changed my mind. When I'm traveling, I see in a space, I always think, oh, this is the space where they want you to get surprised. This is the space where they
Yeah.
want you to be more comfortable and sitting and wait for the next space. But also now that I'm in construction,
Yes.
when I
Yeah.
go everywhere, I always start looking at and ask myself how they put this together, like how they install these panels. And I touch the panels, I see the texture of the panels,
Yeah.
I see that if the panel has attachments, how they
How did they
yeah.
attach it?
Mhm.
Okay, so has changed. You have seen that it has changed the way you
You
look
look
at buildings
for other things
for other
now.
things now. More like it's interesting. It's interesting
Yeah.
how something activates in your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No, you look at it to see, maybe in your next project, you need to install a canopy that is like the one they're looking at, or you need to install some tile that looks similar. Yeah. One of the things that I really like is going to design district, because you know that all the stores there
Yes,
has like their own
yes,
personality.
yes, yes,
And I always
yes.
just pass by and looked, and I touch the tiles, and I look at the windows. Oh, how they did this, how they did that.
Nice. And so, what would be three advices you will give to people that want to step into the construction
Mhm.
field, or they're thinking maybe they consider going into the construction field after watching this video? So, what would be three advices?
Well, don't be sensitive if you want to go to
Don't
to
be
the construction field.
be
You need
strong.
to be strong. That's the first advice
Yes,
I would
yes,
give. You
yes,
need to be emotional intelligent.
yes,
That's the first thing
yes.
that you need to have. Then you need to keep a positive attitude,
Yeah,
and things are gonna get better as long as you work on them.
yeah.
And work hard. I think you need to work hard to earn
The
the
respect and
respect,
of
to
it.
earn the
Yeah.
position that you want, to achieve the results that you want to achieve.
Yes.
That's very important. And ask questions. Always ask questions. Get involved and learn everything, because someday you're gonna realize, and you're gonna say, oh, like, I didn't know all this. Look at everything
That I have learned
now.
now. And yeah, I think those are very three important advices.
Mhm.
And looking back, will you go back to architecture? Will you? No,
No, I don't think I will never go
you will
back.
not go
No,
back.
I think construction goes more with me, with my personality. I think
Yeah.
it's more dynamic, and I like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
But it depends.
Yeah, I think life is so crazy because I think it puts you the opportunities that are perfect for you,
Mhm.
and I totally see you and I understand you better as a person going into being now in the construction and knowing your story. You say like Carla was perfect for this all the
Yeah, I
time.
didn't know, but
You didn't know, but
that
yeah,
was construction
Carla.
administration was what I wanted.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So it has been a great pleasure to have you here, Carla. Thank you so much for sharing
Thank
your
you. Thank you for
story.
having me.
Yes. And thank you all for being here and for listening to the podcast, and see you in the next episode.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to the Framing the Future podcast. Your 5-star reviews really help us continue what we do. Please rate your listening experience, and let's keep building this beautiful community together. For exclusive access to more design content, visit thearchitecturalauthority.com or download our app from the App Store or Google Play. Until next time, stay creative.